PlayStation, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Man, look, I was trying to be a nice guy. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man.
Here
Cause
we go.
you said Neil Druckmann. You said Neil Druckmann said it was some areas weren't polished or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like-
That's what I read. Like he felt like there were
Sounds like a
certain
downgrade.
areas.
To,
Oh,
sounds like
boy.
some stuff gonna get toned down.
So
Man,
Tick,
I'm sorry.
Tick is
I'm
still,
sorry, bro.
Tick is
Trying to
still
get the chat
carrying
mad, but I'm
this,
sorry.
this
Where you get that
narrative
from?
that this game is gonna get downgraded when it just almost never happens. Like Tick looks
Almost don't mean it never will happen,
bro.
you know?
It's not getting downgraded.
Game Fanatic. Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic. Michael Jordan, the game, and also the Rebel YouTube Underground. And I'm back with another video, and I gotta expose the Sony fanatics out there, the radical fanatics, because I hate y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like y'all. All right, I'm a Sony fan because I know y'all think I'm an Xbox fanboy because I come at Xbox. I come at PlayStation because that's the problem. Y'all think if you say anything negative about PlayStation, you are an Xbox fanboy or something crazy like that. And all day you'll sit there and watch these Sony radical fanboys attacking every other platform. They'll attack Xbox fans, they'll attack PC fans, but they never have any dirt. And when you expose their dirt, you are automatically now a PlayStation hater and an Xbox fanboy. When I don't even like Xbox like that. The last Xbox, and the only Xbox I've owned was a 360, and I said I would never buy another one. And I've had PlayStation all my life. I've only skipped the PS3, and that's because I had a 360, and I couldn't afford to buy two consoles at the time. So I don't know where y'all getting that from. But anyway, The Last of Us 2, man. The Last of Us 2 has been finally shown to be downgraded. Now, I've already thought that this was a thing. Back when they first showed the first gameplay in 2018, I was like, yo, I don't believe this is how the game is going to look. I've never seen a PlayStation game look this good. The shadows were the first thing that threw me off. And then just the animation of the characters were just too smooth. And I was like, this has to be a vertical slice. I don't think it's going to look that clean. And then all the reflections and everything, it just looked way too good for a PlayStation game, even on the Pro, to look that good. And I just like, no, that's going to be a PS5 version if they re-release it for the PS5. People said I was crazy. People were upset. They called me stupid and everything like that. Whatever you want. You heard it in the little podcast clip in the beginning. They didn't think that I was telling the truth and what I was saying was right. Well, now it has been shown 7 days ago by Eld and at least the Bits that this is true. And I found this by a Twitter post from another YouTuber. So let's go to the breakdown video. And Digital Foundry also made a video 2 days after these guys. And pretty much solidified it. Now, they try to damage control a little bit because they always say everything is an artistic change instead of a downgrade, especially the guy that reviews the PlayStation games, because he's a PlayStation fanboy. With Spider-Man, with Uncharted, he tried to damage control and say they weren't really downgrades, they were artistic changes. But people attack Watch Dogs all the time for the same changes that they did compared to this, and we're going to get to that later. But anyway, let's hurry up because we don't got much time here. All right, so let's go. So the first thing he's showing off here is the volumetric fog. All right, so this impacts your graphics card on the PC. I remember when that first came out on Call of Duty back in 2003. Like, it was a big thing. It was actually called NVIDIA Fog. Like, it was a huge thing, and I don't even think it was volumetric at that point. But as you see, the fog was thicker. The light actually blooms off the light, where you get a nice little bloom feature as well. But when you get the final copy, that was the 2018 version. The final copy, they removed it. It's not as much. It's lowered. And what the... Yo, isn't this the same guy you fight in the store? Like, how many times do you see this model here, bro? Like, am I tripping? Because I swear you see this same guy. Like, I thought they were supposed to have, like, different names and look different. And they call out each other's names when you kill one of them. They're like, oh my God, they killed John or something like that. Like, I don't know. But anyway, let's go through them. All right, so there they are. They're showing the volumetric fog. I mean, the volumetric fog again. And now they're showing off here. We're going to zoom forward. They're showing off the screen space reflection. I don't know why it was so hard to say that. Screen space reflection. All right, so if you look in the water, they're showing what we got in the retail. So if you look in the water, you notice that the stuff here that's reflecting isn't what is around. Like, there's a few things. So you see this is reflecting. A few of the trees here are reflecting, but you don't see him reflecting. You also do not see this street sign reflecting at all either in the final build. Now, the person that was hung wasn't in the 2018 version because you saw that like right away. What? And then you notice when she moves, like this is actually changing as well. So they're doing that so they can increase the performance, because that is a lot of graphical power that has to run that. All right, now here's the 2018 trailer. So everything is where it needs to be. As you see, that tree is right there. You also would even see the light coming off of this person's torch reflecting in the water. Every single thing that is supposed to reflect is actually reflecting, like it's ray tracing. And I felt that was going to happen on the PS4 version. Like, there's no way. Now, fast forward, and we're getting to the parts where we're talking about the lighting and the shadows, which Ellie gets inside of the parking lot. All right, so let's get there. So here's volumetric lighting, again, being downgraded. All right, so one, we got screen space reflections, textures on the car here. As you see, it's a nice glossy sheen on the car, you know, as it should look when it's foggy and humid outside, when there's moisture in the air, you know, it should look like that. Also, take a look at the anisotropic filtering on Ellie and all the models in this picture. Okay, so one, you see a shadow coming off of Ellie's body onto the car. Also look at the shadows on her body and on her clothing, which gives off more detail and it looks like realistic shadow and lighting. Look at the lighting hitting off of the reflection here. Also, the main thing you want to take a look at the shadows on the AI, on the enemy. Now, that was one of the first red flags that I saw when they first showed the 2018 trailer. I was like, wait a minute, PlayStation shadows don't ever look that good. That is amazing looking. How are they pulling this off? What kind of magic are they using? And I almost took it back because I kept seeing trailers shown later on that still kept the same graphical fidelity. But when the game came out, we saw this comparison. I was like, thank you, God. And look at the animations too. I thought that was crazy too. But again, vertical slice. That's why the animations weren't that crazy. I was like, that's the smartest AI I've ever seen in any game. But look at those shadows. Now, here's the retail version of the game. Look at the car. All right, so first things first, we do not see that sheen or glossy reflection on the car. You know, when it's supposed to be moisture all around. You also see the anisotropic filtering on Ellie. Like, all the detail and the shadows are not on her anymore. She just sticks out very, very easily. All right. Also, again, the reflections going. You don't even see blood on the fingertips anymore. And also, you don't see the shadow being on the car. But you know what else you don't see? What other shadows you don't see? You don't see the shadows on the enemy AI. They're gone. You do not see these. Now, again, people were saying, you got to wait for Digital Foundry to make a video before you can actually believe this. Digital Foundry did make a video, and I'll show you the clip here about the shadows.
And shadows are also absent from this area up ahead, a difference similar to what we saw when comparing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy with its gameplay demo. Curious. There's plenty of shadow casting lights that have been eliminated elsewhere too.
Now, you're also going to see that Ellie does not cast a shadow, or you probably already saw it from the the Digital Foundry video, but here it is again, 2018 model. You see shadows. It's actually shadows on the grass as well. But then when you get the final release, there are no shadows. No shadows at all. Now watch as Ellie jumps down through here on the 2018 model. You still see the nice screen space reflections going on the beams up top here. The walls that are wet, nice reflections. Look at the lighting, and look at even the model here, and look at the shadow detail on Ellie. Like, she's engulfed in the shadows like she's supposed to be. Look at the shadows on the grass here. Look at the detail. That is nice looking. Now watch when we get the final version. Boom. The car goes ugly instantly. All right, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. It looks like the models from the original Last of Us. Like, they just took those models and just transferred it over. That is horrible looking. The lighting does not look as detailed anymore. Screen space reflection gone. The grass looks fake. Doesn't even look good anymore. Ellie sticks out like a sore thumb, like the shadows are going. That is a downgrade, man, or artistic change, right? You know, that's the damage control term we run with nowadays, because Digital Foundry gave people that damage control term. All right, now let's get to character models and how those were downgraded. All right, so this is the same scene where Ellie gets pulled from under the car by one of the AI, the enemy, and they try to choke her out. Now, let's look at the let's look at the difference in quality. So first of all, they went in with the daggone blur, and they also, but you can turn it off, I heard. And they also went in with the daggone noise. Like, there is a lot of noise going on this screen. But look at the detail. I'm gonna try to get it to where you can see their faces a little better. All right, so here you go. There's so much more detail here. This looks realistic. This looks like someone that was a burn victim. He almost got some Freddy Krueger features going on here. Like, he looks like a burn victim. Look at the outfits. So you got more screen space reflection going on the sleeves. You can even see it on Ellie's arms because she was laying on moist grass and she may have been sweating from running. It pops on the lighting a little better. It's a little bit on her arm here. It just does not look as good, especially with the screen space reflection on him. All right. So look at that. Look at that. Obvious downgrade to the model. Like, there's no denying it. Especially when they get pushed away. Now they gave us a nice little close up here. Now, people were saying you could get this animation to happen. You just have to shoot him in the legs apparently in the game, because at the end of this video, he was saying that he couldn't get that animation to happen. Maybe it can, maybe it cannot. But let's look at the detail of not only his face, but his model, his clothing, everything. He's dry as I don't know what on this guy. Completely dry. His face, it still looks destroyed. I mean, it's more of a realistic, I guess you could say color palette, but it shouldn't even be that color palette when you're inside this building. Like, there's green everywhere else. Like, everything else is giving off a greenish hue or a bluish hue. It will look more like this, actually, if it were, realistically filmed in there. So, yeah, models were definitely downgraded on the final version of the game compared to the newer version. Other than that, the rest of the show there were some things that it seems like they added to the game. So I will show that because I am not biased. All right. Oh, whoa. I forgot about this part. Hold on. Oh, the God rays. Oh, man. They turned that down. So here's the 2018 trailer. Look at the God rays coming through the fog. That looks realistic. It looks very natural. That is beautiful. That is a beautiful looking image right there. And then we get to the final version where they took that away. Artistic change, maybe? Or to make the game run better because it couldn't handle it. You choose. All right, so back to what I was saying. They made the grass effects look better and stuff on the newer version, the recent version, I guess you could say. So I will say the grass has a better saturation. Looks good. In a lot of different spots. So yeah, that does look great. I'm not gonna lie about that. They also added grass inside the store scene, right here. There we go. So as you see, there's more foliage inside the store compared to the original, because the original there was pretty much no foliage in there at all. So yeah, they added more foliage in there. They removed the bloom effect, they're saying. I really didn't notice that looking too bad, though, to be honest with you. Yeah, it is slightly lowered, but, that could have definitely been an artistic change, to be honest with you. So I don't really come at them about that one. But, yeah, they added more grass inside and all that good stuff, That's cool and all. But, yeah, man, that's all I want to show you about The Last of Us 2 with their downgrade. Now, I'm going to pull up Watch Dogs. The reason I'm going to show that is because a lot of people have been saying the Watch Dogs was the worst downgraded game ever. And a lot of people, when I talked about this, always brought up Watch Dogs. They were like, well, it's not as bad as Watch Dogs, because Watch Dogs was way worse. And I was like, I don't think you remember. It's a Mandela effect you're having there, buddy, because it's about the same. So let's cut to that. All right, on to the Digital Foundry video where they were showcasing Watch Dogs downgrade. Now, just like The Last of Us, Spider-Man, and even Uncharted, a lot of the Sony fanboys ran with that narrative Digital Foundry said, where they said it wasn't really a downgrade, it was more of an artistic change. Look at right here at the beginning of the video. Much has changed, and that has much to do with the artistic choices made by Ubisoft Montreal, as it is about the technical elements of the Disrupt game engine. They're already saying the same thing right there, guys, but remember, Watch Dogs was the worst downgrade ever. All right, anyway, let's get to the video. All right, so the first thing they're going to show off is lighting and shadows. All right, so I don't think they can get it at the same time of day, but you see the fog going through here, the smoke, the lighting, the shadows bouncing off, the lack of shadows on the Ultra PC version, the retail copy. There's really no shadow. You see like this little blob on the ground, but it doesn't really look like a shadow at all. But the shadows were definitely more defined. Look at that. More realistic shadows as well. So watch when he walks on the sun here. Absolutely no shadows, but the shadows still bounce off of his outfit though. So I remember seeing in the comments people are also talking about the way the outfit moved, the physics. They also pointed that on in The Last of Us 2 downgrade as well, where the physics weren't as good on the person's coat that was attacking Ellie. But anyway, here's the most famous scene, so the club scene. So as you see, on the 2012 E3 version, they have this fog effect coming down in the club to give it some atmosphere. You know, make it like a super high-end club, you know, that everybody wants to get into. Now, I want to apologize to you, my fan in the background. It's hot in here. All right. But as you see, there's fog everywhere. Now, this is an expensive thing for a graphics card to run. It does use a lot of resources to run that. But a lot of PCs at the time could definitely do it. All right. It wasn't an issue. But here's the part, though. Here's the part I like. So, on The Last of Us, I made sure to point out that they added certain things to certain areas. You know, there were things they took away, but they also added things. And the console PlayStation fanboys were quick to pull that when I, would argue with them. They say, no, they added this. How is that a downgrade? All right, well, here we go. So let's look at the inside of the dance floor of the club, okay? So first of all, there's fog around, but it's pretty dark in there. But let's look at the retail version. Look at these lasers. Look at the brightness of these lights. Look at these lights. All that's going on. Look at the ground. There's logos spinning around on the ground. Lack of shadows on the ground though from people. As you can see from this version, you actually see some shadows from people. But everything else, look at all that stuff going on. That's added. That's new. Maybe it was an artistic change, guys, huh? Maybe. Just like, Spider-Man and all those other games. So maybe that's what we're going to say from now on. It was never a downgrade. There are artistic changes, not downgrades, okay? That's the way to damage control it, As the years, as time goes, the fewer years, people have become more sensitive. So you got to say things that don't make them upset. That person does not look 60 years old, by the way. But, yeah, look at this. Look at all the stuff added. Now, we're back outside. Screen space reflection. You see all the nice gloss and sheen from the rain. There's a little bit more bloom on this particular version compared to this one. Saw a car splashing a gentleman here. Vertical slice, because I don't think that even happens in the game. But that was a pretty cool thing that they showed there. Just like The Last of Us things happened on the trailer that didn't happen in the game. Alright. So, I also want to show this part here. So, when I was talking about shadows, you're going to see more examples of the missing shadows in the retail copy. Alright, right now they're showing light bloom off, but here we go. Alright, so I want you to see here. So, see as this car's light cast onto him is actually showing a shadow from the gentleman. Alright? That's something missing from the retail copy. You cannot cast a shadow. Your character can even cast a shadow. So I'm going to go to another video that shows this, alright? And I even showed this on my video when I was showing off the mod. So here you go. This is, whoa, we don't need the music. This is him walking around in front of headlights, no shadow being cast. Now the mod that they're showing off actually retrieves the files that Ubisoft locked away for us not to be able to use. So boom, there you go. Shadows are now being shown from cars. And now they're going to show from other objects casting shadows. Alright, so this is the car pulling up forward to a light pole. And as you see, the shadow from the light pole is being cast from the vehicle. On the original version, that does not happen whatsoever. So guys, what's the verdict? Is The Last of Us downgraded? Or is it an artistic change? Even Spider-Man and Uncharted, were those downgraded because there were things like this changed in those games, but people kept running with that narrative? Artistic change. So let me know down in the comment section below, because I kept you long enough. I don't want to continue to keep you. But this is your boy Tick. Again, I am not an Xbox fan. I'm a realist, man. I just point out the flaws of everything. I don't take a side. I'm not biased. You guys are the biased ones. Don't be upset with me. I own a PlayStation 4 Pro and I own a PC. I game on both. When there's a game I want on the PlayStation, I'll buy it. That's only on the PlayStation. It has to be an exclusive. I'm going to buy it on the PlayStation. I'm going to play it. But it's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, Michael Jordan Gaming. And I'm going to be gone. Bye.